There are some people who are of the opinion that there are some contradictions in the Bhagavad Gita. One example is the 5th chapter, 15th shloka. And what is that? Nadatte kasyachit papam nachaiva sukrutam vibhuhu ajnanena avrutam jnanam tena muhyanti jantavaha. In English, they have translated this as the Lord does not receive the sin or merit of anyone. So the Lord does not receive the sin or merit of anyone. And yet, in the same chapter, the 29th shloka, the Lord says, Bhoktaram yajnatapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhrudam sarvabhutanam jnatva mam shantim richati. That is, Krishna is saying that he is the Lord and enjoyer of all sacrifices and penances. So, some people have this problem. They say, how it may well be asked, can the Supreme Being enjoy that which he does not even receive? Now, let us see how these two can be reconciled. Well, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa explains using a simple analogy. In the light, suppose there is a tube light. Underneath the light, there are two people. One doing some good activity, the other planning to commit a crime. Now, can the light be held responsible for the crime that has been committed? No. The free will of the person is always there. Therefore, the light gives the light under which this fellow is able to plan the bank robbery or whatever. So, the individual always has the free will. That is one thing. And so, the Lord cannot be held guilty for having provided the energy, the means, and wherewithal, and all that. Just as the light has provided the opportunity for this fellow to sit and plan, does not mean that the light is to be held responsible. That's ridiculous. Next. Bhoktaram yajnatapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhrudam sarvabhutanam jnatva mam shantim richati. So, he is the Lord and enjoyer of all sacrifices and penances. So, he enjoys, he receives, or he enjoys. Now, how should that be reconciled with the earlier one? Now, the problem is with the English word enjoyer. Now, enjoyment conjures up ideas of some kind of a pleasure and happiness. It should be understood as one who is a partaker, who experiences, who is there. Because as the Veda says, Dva Suparna Sayuja Sakhaya Samanam Ruksham Parishasvajate Tayor Anyaha Pippalam Swadvati Anashnananyo Abhichakashiti. This is a parable from the Vedas, as we already understood and discussed earlier. The bird sitting on top of the tree is the Supreme Lord, and the bird hopping on every branch, enjoying and suffering variously, is you and me. And since these two birds are there on the tree of the body, metaphorically, therefore the Lord partakes of all the pain, pleasure, everything. He is a constant companion. Gatir Bharta Prabhu Sakshi Nivasa Sharanam Suhrat. So the Lord is the constant witness and companion. So that is how it has to be understood. I do not see any contradiction here. And besides that, Bhoktaram Yajnatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram can be understood very simply. You have that shloka, isn't it? Akashat patitam toyam yada gacchati sagaram sarvadeva namaskaraha Sri Keshavam prati gacchati. So, also in monotheistically, if you examine religion, ultimately there is one Supreme Lord. So, henotheism is a word that I think Max Muller created. Or someone else created, whatever. So that means each god, Ganesha, Rama, Shiva, or Kartikeya, are all different facets or dimensions of the same Supreme Lord, but at the same time they are also raised to the level of the highest. So this is the uniqueness of Hinduism. You can take any manifestation, any dimension of Krishna, and view him as the Supreme. So you can consider Ganesha as supreme. Someone can consider Kartikeya as supreme. All these are there. So I think an analogy can be when tax is paid, ultimately it has to go to the emperor. The central government gets a share because it runs the whole country. So similarly, ultimate recipient is there, that is Krishna.